Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now please join me in the cadet prayer. For the message we're about to receive, we give thanks, O Lord. Bless our academy and our families. Favor the aspirations of our nation and protect the men and women in uniform who guard our freedom. Amen.
Good morning. Thank you for attending today's ceremony, and thank you for sharing your boys with us this summer. I am Andy Jobson, the Summer Lead Director for 2019, and it has been my pleasure to oversee the last 4 weeks. The boys have worked hard and played hard, and I've seen many friendships grow. Some of these boys I knew before, others I've gotten to know for the first time. Our L.E.A.D Academy can be challenging for a young man. We require them to devote hours of attention to a single subject each day, and then we have them go out and test themselves physically. And then at the end of the day, they finish with more study. No wonder they enjoyed those few minutes of rest in the grill each morning. Additionally, they learn how to work together. All of our boys have either given or received commands, and most of them have done both. Riverside Military Academy agrees with Mr. Fulton Sheen, who wrote, "Civilization is always in danger when those who have never learned to obey are given the right to command." Our boys learn both ends of that equation, and they learn that both following and leading can be difficult. For those who are ending the Riverside experience today, we wish you Godspeed. For those who are embracing the challenge and continuing for the school year, welcome or welcome back. We look forward to partnering with you in the development of young men of character. We will now recognize boys who have demonstrated outstanding achievement in their subject areas. Please note that if a class had fewer than 3 boys, we did not include it in today's recognition. For middle school math, Nick Nguyen. For middle school English, Eli Heil. For middle school study habits, Anders Guthrie. We're very proud of our practical skills class, and the semester-long class during the year is very popular. They learn everything from changing a tire to tying a necktie to how to cook chicken properly. Our winner for that this year is Dannon Allen. High School Bound is for rising 9th grade, preparing them for the rigors that is the high school life. I should say the rigor that is, pardon me. But our winner in the High School Bound English is Christopher Williams. For high school-bound math, Corbin Kendall. In addition to their subject areas, they spent the morning learning about how to study, how to be effective, how to take notes, and the winner for that is J.P. Larson. The College Readiness Boot Camp teaches kids about the application process, helps them figure out what their goals and interests are, and takes them on several tours of local colleges. The outstanding achievement in that this summer is James Little. For Algebra 1, Jackson Phillips. And with a slip of the finger, this is not a surprise anymore, Jude Payne for Algebra 2. For Geometry, Amir Mamashev. For Studies in Literature and Composition, Mason West. For Government, David Anderson. For Economics, Alan Cudemus. For English Language Learners, or ESL, Hector Leon. Computer Programming for the Web and Design, Wolfgang Rodemich. For IT Applications, Andrew Lowe. For SAT Prep, Bryce Klasinski. And for 2D, 3D art, Daniyal Aryngazin. Many of the boys participated in a variety of events in the afternoon. Some of those were premium activities. I want to recognize a few of those. For outstanding achievement in weightlifting, Koa Barker. To assist with the awards for marksmanship, we welcome Mr. Mitch Freeman to the stage, one of our instructors this summer. In third place in the competition they held at the end of the summer, Bradley Lowe. In second place, Jason Lee. And in first place, Colin Tortorelli. We also had 7 young men earn their scuba certification this summer. We're going to ask those gentlemen to stand and be recognized where they are, not come to the stage. So as I call your name, please rise. Hold applause till all have been named, please. Jacob Westbrook, Ivan Walker, Costin Thigpen, Jordan Collins, Wolfgang Rodemich, Fitz Joseph, and Bilmaro Sosa. The remaining awards will be given by our Commandant, Colonel James Spivey. Delta Company, Best Old Boy, Costin Thigpen. Delta Company Best New Boy, David Kapestein. Echo Company Best Old Boy, Mark Hughes. Good job. Echo Company Best New Boy, Colin Tortorelli. You can leave your medal on. It's okay, son. The next awards are for the Best Eagle champions. The Best Eagle competition consists of 3 challenges. These 3 challenges are taken on by fire teams of 4 cadets that assist each other through the challenges. Each challenge is timed and is accomplished once all members of the fire team are through. The first challenge is the square. Fire teams must run 3 laps around a massive square, first carrying one another, utilizing a fireman carry. On the second lap, the participants must carry rucksacks filled with sand. Finally, they must sprint around the square with the Eagle Guide on and low crawl the last 30 yards to the finish line. If you don't know what that is, ask the boys when they get back to you. The second challenge is the conditioning course. Here, the students will utilize teamwork to get through this obstacle course. There is a 12-foot wall, a rope swing, a rope tower, and low crawling through sand and a tunnel. Time stops when they sprint back to the start line. Lastly, the obstacle course. This obstacle course has been used to train the U.S. military for years. Here, the students' upper body strength and will to accomplish the mission will bring them to the end. Once all teams completed each challenge, the winners were calculated by best overall times on each event. We have 2 team winners. Our first team, I left off the best barracks inspection. It's not in my program. Okay. Echo Company won Best Barracks Inspection. Level 1, Alan Cudemus, Dawson Smith, Gabriel Foster, and Alexander Pombo. Level 2, Joseph Harvey, Corbin Kendall, Thomas Adair, and Eli Heil. barracks inspection, right? I had my slides out of order. Sorry about that. Gentlemen, that concludes or ladies and gentlemen, concludes our awards portion of the ceremony. Can we give all these people one more round of applause? Cadet Newman. Are y'all going off?
So you're probably wondering where your boys just went to, right? Thinking you're going to get them here in a second. So they're going up to the barracks right now to get their gear, their leave slips, and all that stuff together. So there's some administration that's happening behind the scenes, and they'll be back to you shortly to the library for sign out. So I have the task and the honor and the privilege of buying just a few minutes of your time while they get that done. So first of all, I just want to say to you that we're really pleased with this group across the campus, from teachers and TAC officers and coaches. They've expressed that this is a really, really good, exceptional group of young people, one of the best summer classes we've had in years. So that, in large part, is due to you and the kind of values you're raising your children with, and the kind of values they brought to this campus. And I believe that when our parent and academy values align, the boys benefit, their future wives will benefit, their future children will benefit, and their communities will benefit. And so we thank you very much for the opportunity of playing just a small part in their summer this year. It takes a great deal of courage and trust to make the decision to send your son to a boarding school. There's a lot of families here whose sons are here during the full school year, and there's many of you that are new. The majority and the preponderance of you are new families. This is your first Riverside experience. I hope you get some opportunities as we mix and mingle this morning and this afternoon to get to know some of our current parents that are here too, because only you really can understand what you've gone through and what you go through. It takes a great deal of sacrifice and trust to do it. I know that there are a lot of parents I talked with today that have missed their sons over the last 4 weeks, and it certainly changes the family dynamic when the boys aren't in the house. I would imagine it's a lot quieter as well over the last 4 weeks. It takes quite a village to do this. As you can tell, that little incident right there is the boys, they rehearsed that, 20 times or something yesterday? And they still turned left. There was a previous commandant who said, imagine if your performance evaluation and your salary and everything was tied to the ability of young boys, 500, 12 to 18 years old, to be in the right uniform at the right time, doing the right thing at all times. It does take a village. It takes all of us. So we appreciate what they've done. I mean, just looking at those slides today is amazing, right? All the things that these boys have done, all the classes and the coursework, and everything from scuba to shooting rifles to interacting with kids from all over the world. It's really quite amazing. And when we stop and think about it, those of us that live it every day, and we get a chance to reflect on it, it's hard not to go, how in the world did we do it all? How did this all happen and come together? And there are a lot of reasons for it. I just want to do a couple highlights of some of the things that I know the boys have done this summer. We just saw the boys being recognized for scuba certification. They went down to Florida, I think, last weekend and got through that certification, did a lot of work prior to it. They've met boys from all over the world. We've got students here at least from Kenya and Kazakhstan and Mexico, Venezuela, I'm sure Nigeria. I'm sure I'm going to miss a few. China, Vietnam. What an amazing opportunity as our world becomes more interconnected, both in economics and governance and all that's going on, global dynamics. It's really, these kids are in the passing lane having the opportunity to interact with cultures and backgrounds that are so different from their own and find out those things that make us common. Just like you, we all want our kids to be safe. We want them to be educated. We want them to be successful. The boys want to have fun. They want to stare at phones. They like girls. They like being busy and active. We're not all that different when it all comes down to it. And it's really a special opportunity to see the boys get that experience. They played a lot of sports. They got some study skills, taught how to tie a Windsor knot, I believe, probably this summer, and a lot of things in between, how to give orders, how to take orders, their left foot from their right foot as you saw them marching out there, how to stay in rhythm. It's quite the undertaking. You wouldn't think it would be as hard as it is, but it really is quite difficult. They have sought out human interaction without the constant distraction of buzzing phones, handheld technology, and the constant need to compare themselves to social media influencers. They had to look each other in the eye and have interactions and dialogues. They have to ask questions and seek human interaction, which is unfortunately a lost art, seems like these days. So in result of that, of course, the halls have echoed with the sounds of laughter and disagreements that are part and parcel to communal living. And homesickness, the boys have gone through an awful lot. And I would tell you the grit and resiliency they learned by overcoming some of those things are that's the stuff, that's the secret ingredients of life, the ability to manage the ups and downs and meet people where they are. And they've learned that even in this short 4 weeks. And so you should rightfully be proud. They should rightfully be proud. And that self-esteem is improved through achievement. When I see the boys recognized for all the things they do, that didn't come easy. It's hard to stay focused for 50 minutes, much less 4 hours in one subject. It's hard to get up and make those hospital corners and have your bed look right and to be in the right uniform and not forget the name tag that's hanging off of it. It's hard to do a left face. I saw those boys making the sound as they did a left face. They took it seriously. They looked sharp. I don't suspect they'll do that in your kitchen, but if they do, get on them. So this 4 weeks was just a taste of the amazing opportunities that are available to the cadets here at Riverside. We've already got our football camp and a Raider camp in. Next Friday, we'll get our leadership camp in. And then we'll have about 180 or so new recruits from all over the world come and join us on August 9th. And so these kids are certainly fortunate sons, although they may not know it while they're going through it. So none of this would have been accomplished without you, and so we thank you very much. I'd also like to take a moment to recognize the faculty and staff who have worked tirelessly to teach, coach, develop, counsel, and mentor your students. This Riverside experience is not a 9-to-5 job. It takes an awful lot of time and energy in and outside of the classroom to deliver this type of educational experience. These teachers and these TAC officers and coaches really do go above and beyond much more than the minimum. As I said to somebody earlier today, our facilities are great, but it's nothing if you don't have good people filling them. And so I am always exceedingly impressed with the quality of the people that do the teaching and the hard work here. And so if you would, please honor these men and women by joining me in a round of applause. And our faculty, please stand for all that you did this last 4 weeks. Thank you so much. So as Mr. Jobson described, some of your students may be returning home with you to continue their education at their local school. In that case, here's what I would recommend to you. Please reinforce the values and the disciplines and the habits that we have tried to start over this last 4 weeks. Make them make their bed in the morning. Have them keep an area tidy and neat. Hold them accountable to regimented and moderate living. Take away their cell phone from time to time and have a conversation. Force them to talk about their experience, to talk about the cultures, and tell me about the kid from Kazakhstan. Tell me about Kazakhstan. What do you know? Talk to me. Get them to do some of those things. They can explain more about current affairs and talk about the culture of the people they met. Tell them you're proud of them for working very hard and showing grit. Things are too easy. We want it easy for our kids, and we shouldn't. Toughness is good. It's okay to have setbacks. It's okay to have some peaks and valleys. That's what boys are. They're mercurial. We've got to teach them how to be steady through the ups and the downs, and we've gotten some introduction to that this last 4 weeks. Continue that on. Like, boys are going to have the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. Our job is to keep them grounded and steady through all that. And certainly they got some experiences to do that this summer. And tell them you're proud of how they bared up under the pressure of long days and watchful eyes that never seem to move. And always watching them. For those of you who are remaining with Riverside in the fall, thank you. Your sons have made great progress in this last 4 weeks, and many of them in the previous years, and we're ecstatic to see what they're going to do this year. There's some amazing things happening at Riverside under the leadership of Colonel Proshevsky and our Board of Trustees. Lots of investments are being made across this campus, and there's going to be a ton of announcements coming up real soon. This is an exciting year to be a part of Riverside, and so we just commend you, those who are going to stay with us. You're going to get the return on investment that you want and need. Whether your boys know it or not, they are indeed fortunate and been granted a great gift by you, so thank you so much. So I just want to take 2 seconds here and talk about how Riverside has endured over the last few years. Many schools have failed. I've been involved in Riverside now for over 6 years, and every year we've lost a school like ours. 130-plus-year-old schools all over the country are closing every day, military schools. We are unique. There's not many of us left, and so it takes a lot of courage and a lot of commitment as us, families and friends and partners, to keep a school like Riverside alive in 2019, 20, 21, moving on. And so I think that above the fact that we're in a good location, we have great facilities, great faculty and staff and governance, we're committed to the mission of developing ethical young men of character for success in college and life. Everything we do is centered on that. We want them to like us. We think they might. But what's more important is their mature opinion of us 10 years after they leave the halls of Riverside, and their fathers, their husbands, their employees, or their bosses. We want them, that's what matters more to us. So I think we're doing an important thing, and you're a part of it, and we appreciate it. I want to take just a second and read something to you. I got a letter, and we won't be much longer, about 2 more minutes. I got this letter from a parent of Riverside, and I'm going to take some pieces and parts out of it, and I just want to read it to you, because I think it's really important, and it's still really relevant. And I'll quote, "Every normal boy, from the age when he begins to toddle about until he's at man's full-statured responsibility, is a heavily charged dynamo of energy. He can be a source of great pride, power, and a force of great benefit to the world around him, or he can be a voltage of sorrow and ruin. That boy is the greatest and most important problem in the world. Thrown upon his own resources, out for his own pleasures and training, he seeks, as naturally as the animals of the jungles, the ways and places where he can gratify his senses and craving for companionship and understanding. And 99 times out of 100, when left to his own devices, he finds that which is not good for him." Can I get a witness? "So," questions the writer, "how is the boy to be chained in his wild and riotous ideas, to be made orderly, manly, directed into the age-old fraternization which is right and sane and good for him? We believe we found the solution in finding the right school in which to put them to work with mind, heart, and brain, and that school, of course, was Riverside. Riverside teaches the finest military tactics in life: promptitude, system, order, obedience, and self-reliance. The gang instincts are directed into systematic organization, which brings sane work and recreation freed of the slack methods which boys follow when left to their own devices. It has solved the problem for me and the good wife, and it has opened the opportunity to Paul, as it shall, I trust, for his brothers later on. End quote. That was written in 1919. Boys are heavily charged dynamos of energy that have to be directed into things which are sane, good, and orderly. Riverside has been doing that since 1907 and does it today. The world has changed, but boys have not. Okay? So just as that father wrote, we still hold to it today and take a great deal of pride in that. So I'm going to close with a few instructions. I think I've bought us a little bit of time here, so I hope I didn't bore you too much. By now, they will have gotten their gear, and they'll be shortly coming down to the library, which you saw as you came in. That's where we'll do sign-outs and transition there. So let me talk through the couple different groups that are here. If your son is staying for Raider or football camp, you're welcome to take him off campus if you want to have lunch with him or anything like that. He won't take his stuff with him, but you can go off campus with him, have lunch. We just ask that you return him to the Commandant's lobby by 1400, 2 p.m., so that he can get reconnected with the coaches and get back out. The Raiders are who knows where today. I think Pine Valley out running around doing some leadership reaction, and the football team is certainly in the throes of it. So if your sons are staying for football and Raider camp, feel free to take them away. Go get them some junk food, which I'm sure they're desperate for, and then get them back here by 2 o'clock, the Commandant's lobby. If your son is returning for a later registration for leadership camp or rock registration, he can leave his gear here. As a matter of fact, he'll be encouraged to do so, and he'll be traveling home light. If he wants or does bring some of his things down and he's coming back, please have him return with those items when he comes back for registration. And if your son is not returning, he's going to return with a whole lot of stuff that he'll be taking home with you. So sign-outs, as I mentioned, will occur in the library. You're going to have the infirmary staff there for those of you whose sons have medications, things like that. Those will be packaged and ready to come back to you. Passports and I-20s for our international students, whether it applies, will be available there. And the other items you need to completely out-process, the business office will be in there. Also, we'll have our admissions staff and counselors that are here, and ourselves, if you want to talk about different options for the fall, if you want to talk about how that process works, be happy to help you with any of that. Did I miss anything, sir? Sir? Hey, look. Yes, sir. Yeah, great. So the teachers will also be there and some tacks, so you'll get a chance to get the real skinny and the real scoop behind your son's time here. So they'll be here to interact with you as well. So barring any... Okay, thank you so much. This completes the ceremony. See you up top.